Trazyn the Infinite is an ancient Necron Overlord of the Nihilakh Dynasty. He is noted amongst his kind as a keeper of history and a preserver of artifacts and events on his Tomb World of Solemnace. Equipment and abilities. Trazyn carries a clutch of mind-shackle scarabs and wields the empathic obliterator, which is an ideal weapon for his purposes, as he disdains exhaustive physical combat and far prefers a single telling blow at the opportune moment. Trazyn is capable of a variety of other means of defense, such as manipulating his own necrodermis into weapons and entrapping his enemies in stasis fields. Should his body be destroyed, he is promptly downloaded into a new form. He has complete control over his Necron legions, able to stream his consciousness into any of his warriors. Trazyn's personal vessel is the Shroud-class light cruiser Lord of Antiquity. History. Before biotransference, Trazyn was a Necrontyr scribe and chief archivist who oversaw the mummification of Necrontyr pharaons. He cannot remember much detail of his past life due to self-installed protection protocols. Trazyn misremembers much of the past he can recall, such as insisting he was physically forced into biotransference when, according to Khan, he had embraced it. Trazyn awoke from the Great Sleep prematurely and during that time sought to expand his collection, pledging that he would one day share it with the rest of his race when they fully awoke. Trazyn is officially a member of the Nihilakh Dynasty but largely operates independently. He has alienated himself from many members of his race and is known to be persona non grata to the Sortek dynasty, while he is only barely tolerated by the Necthis dynasty in exchange for his services. Trazyn's philosophy of preserving the past is in stark contrast to the cryptek Khan, the diviner's hope of changing it for a better future, and the two were hated enemies even in life. The two fought over access to the tomb of the legendary Necrontyr Overlord Nephrith on Serenade for nearly 10,000 years. Though they were forced to reconcile and join forces after discovering they had both been duped by the deceiver, Khan still vows revenge. He is known to hold technologies and relics that are so rare as to be priceless. Trazyn's nature means that he is loath to explore the galaxy himself. However, his desire to see and catalogue exquisite artifacts forces him to go out amongst the stars when he sees an opportunity he cannot afford to miss. Furthermore, he is known to often send substitutes of himself to do his work for him, and many have become annoyed to discover that the Necron they had slain, who they believed to have been Trazyn, was in fact a Lichguard, or a Necron Lord. On such occasions, the real Trazyn works to break through his enemy's opposition in order to get his hands on his latest prize to add to his collection. Trazyn has tried twice to obtain the Spear of Vulcan from Salamander's Forge Father Vulcan Histan. However, he was defeated in personal combat by Histan and later foiled once again in the Tok'ran Crusade. Sometime later, Trazyn journeyed to Harmony in search of new additions to his collection but was wounded by Eidolon. In exchange for his safe passage, Trazyn offered a lost gene seed tithe of the Emperor's children that was part of his collection. This caused Eidolon to dispatch Fabius Bile and Flavius Alcanex to Solemnace to retrieve it. Also part of the bargain was Fabius Bile himself, who Trazyn desired to add to his collection. However, on Solemnace, Bile was able to bargain his freedom and acquire the gene seed tithe for himself by offering first Harlequins, and then Fabius clone of Fulgrim, as well as Alcanex and his Emperor's children. During the 13th Black Crusade, Trazyn's collection on Solemnace was thrown into upheaval. This provoked the Necron Lord into investigating the cause via the Celestial Orrery, where he discovered that pylons were holding back the tide of the warp on Cadia. Not wishing to see chaos spread throughout the galaxy and perhaps searching for new items of his collection, Trazyn ventured to Cadia and aided the Imperial defenders there. On Cadia, Trazyn worked with Belisarius Cawl in activating Cadia's pylons but ultimately could not prevent the destruction of the planet. As Cadia died, Trazyn took part in the final battle against Abaddon and unleashed much of his collection against the Black Legion, but seeing that Cadia was doomed, he promptly teleported away. Trazyn has since begun prying for information from his captive Shard of the Deceiver on how to enter the Great Rift. Trazyn has also connected Solemnace to a hidden sub-dimensional reality bubble via reality tethers. It is only able to be entered and exited by the Overlord or his minions and contains a stronghold, named Sanctum, which holds reality warping arenas that are replicated from those used by the Imperium. Trazyn has placed renowned warriors there, which he has fought for his amusement, though the Overlord has promised to free whoever emerges as the ultimate victor between them all. However, due to the advanced technology available to the Necrons, Trazyn is able to heal the warriors of even the most lethal wounds and send them back into the fray. Even should someone actually win, the Overlord has no intention of keeping his promise of giving the warriors their freedom. Instead, the arena winner will have the honor of taking a place of pride within Trazyn's latest exhibit on Solemnace.
Thank you for listening to this entry from the Warhammer 40,000 Lexicanum.